MedtechVISION 23. Apparently there are 2 straws that stir this drink, and here they are.
I haven't heard that one before.
It's the truth. So let's talk about expectations. What did you think, and what did you get?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think we had the privilege of co-chairing this event last year, and when we walked away from it, it was so energizing. We kind of like looked at each other and we were like, holy cow, that was amazing. And, coming into today, I was a little bit worried, like how were we gonna meet and really top it from last year? And, sometimes in the middle of it all, you're kind of buried in the weeds, trying to figure out how you're gonna stay on track from a timeline and those types of things. But, being able to pick our head up at the end of the day, it was really an incredible conversation. There were some really heavy moments. There were some really challenging points of view that kind of really grounded us. But at the same time, this conversation needs to be had. And it's really great to walk out of that having, action-oriented, seeing women who are changing the world and the industry, and really feeling like we can make a small difference.
And you know what? I am blown away by multiple things. You are one of them. But in addition to that, Hafiza, patient keynote, she set the tone for authenticity and vulnerability. I think, again, we had the amazing keynote this year. But then the people that came up and that said, this is my first MedTech Women event. Like half the women I think here, this is their first time coming. And I started to ask people, well, what drew you? And a lot of them said the topic of health equity, a whole day on something they're super passionate about. And I'm blown away because they also were then handing me their business card saying, I want to volunteer, I want to get involved, I want to make a difference, I want to be a part of this. And, mic drop. Boom.
Well, I mean, that's what you want, is not only were they engaged, entertained, impacted, learned something, but they want to be a part of it. I mean, you think about that from any other conference you've ever been to. Did anybody at any other conference ever offer that they wanted to be a part of this next year? No, they couldn't wait to get the hell out of there.
I, talking with some folks at the end of the day, just had heard some things that felt like actually like the greatest compliments. Mm-hmm. One woman told me that she'd overheard somebody say they didn't check their email the entire day. They were that engaged in the conversation, being present, connecting with the amazing women here. Another first-time attendee was sharing, like, this was so unlike any other conferences. Nobody had their laptop out in the room. The end of the day, it was a long day, right? We started very early. We kept going. I was standing, and the panelists were standing between everybody and wine. And her observation was like, nobody left. Everybody was there until the very end. So, like, the fact that we have the tail end of the conference and everybody is so engaged just tells you, what incredible experts we had on the stage, but also what an important topic that we are talking about and that we all need to work on.
I think you're right. I think the other thing that I noticed was because the whole day was on health equity, there were no tracks of no other distractions, nothing. It was singularly focused on let's talk how we're going to impact and drive health equity from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And it ended, I think, amazingly when the people just kept raising their hands of how what's the one thing that they're going to do to take away to maybe make a change. And that's important to me because it felt like we were all in this together in this collective conversation and in a narrative that made it that much more special because it was so focused and people were passionate about it.
If you could sum it up in one word, I know that's hard for you all at this moment, but let's give it a go.
Intense.
Okay.
But also that was me to put me on the spot like that.
Inspiring. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought for me, it felt safe. People could speak and be incredibly vulnerable and say people told about their children dying or almost dying, fertility issues, miscarriages, diversity questions and concerns about people that they love and were not going to get the health care they needed. And then it's followed up by a joke. And everyone started laughing. I'm like, I just think that you guys created a safe space that allowed people to be incredibly authentic. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in the 20 years I've been doing this. So take a bow.
last year.
You guys must be doing something right.
I think that means we topped it.
Yeah, I think you did. Well, go enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks so much for including us in all of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, for just helping to facilitate the virtual experience and ensure that, we continue to reach and engage a broader audience in the conversation. We really appreciate you.
And promoting the event, all leading up to it too.
Listen, our goal is the same goal as yours, to make sure that everybody has what they deserve.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you.
See, go get your own.